Shadow Strike, Chapter 2, The Trail. "Looks like our suspicions were correct," Steve said quietly. The Thompson Appliances truck idled at the checkpoint, its engine humming patiently. On the surface, everything about it was ordinary official logos, sealed cargo, verified paperwork. Just another shipment entering Ebron City. But Steve and Rusty both knew better now. "These aren't real consumer goods," Rusty murmured, keeping his eyes forward like any bored border security officer on duty. Steve's expression didn't change, but his mind was already racing. Then the question is, where is it headed? They could have shut the operation down right there. The evidence was clear. The authority was theirs, but that wasn't the objective. Not yet. Steve stepped back and activated a secure channel. "This is Black Dragon," he said calmly. "We've got confirmed contraband in Thompson's cargo. Need eyes on the destination." The response came almost instantly. "On it," Nova Edge replied. "Terrashock will tail the convoy." The trucks rolled through the checkpoint and merged onto the highway, unaware they were now under constant watch. Minutes passed. "Convoy steady," Nova Edge reported. "No deviation." Then another voice cut in. "Visual confirmed," Night Owl said. "They're heading east. Industrial sector." Steve exchanged a brief glance with Rusty. That confirmed it. The trucks weren't headed to retail centers or distribution hubs. They were moving toward controlled territory. "A warehouse, destination confirmed," Night Owl continued. "Thompson's Eastern Warehouse." Steve keyed the channel again. "Call the team," he said. "Tell them to prepare." This time there would be no easy way in. The structure itself was reinforced steel doors, elevated watch posts, armed patrols moving in disciplined patterns. Not guards, mercenaries. Thompson had learned. He wasn't making the same mistake twice. The night strikers watched the warehouse from the upper floors of an abandoned building across the street. Inside the dark, the night strikers stood clad not in their usual tactical armor, but in black Japanese-style combat suits, lightweight, flexible, built for direct engagement. Large hoods concealed their masks, red visors glowing faintly beneath the fabric. Silent, focused, ready. Black Dragon broke the stillness. "All right, you know the drill," he said calmly. "Let's roll." They moved immediately. Splitting into pairs, they slipped out of the building and fanned around the warehouse perimeter, each team covering a different corner. Movements were synchronized, precise, no wasted motion. Nova Edge deployed a compact device against a junction panel. Within seconds, a custom virus surged through the system. The alarms went dark. Cameras froze. The warehouse became blind. Then the night strikers moved in. The mercenaries were good, well-trained, alert, armed with high-grade equipment. But they weren't prepared for what hit them. One by one, they went down. Not loudly, not chaotically. Each engagement was swift and controlled. Strikes were calculated. Disarms were clean. No unnecessary force, just efficiency. The night strikers had trained for this kind of work their entire lives. Martial arts from across the world, kung fu, karate, taekwondo, boxing. Advanced military drills alongside elite units from the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Even direct training with the mercenary groups themselves. They knew how these men thought, they knew how they fought, and they knew how to beat them. Night Owl and Whisper reported, "Enemy neutralized." "Same here," reported Terrashock and Nova Edge. "Copy," replied Red Phoenix. "You guys should join us inside. We could use some extra hands." The four made their way inside with confidence. This warehouse was under their control now. Inside, rows of appliance crates lined the floor, washers, refrigerators, industrial units. But once detached and opened, the truth spilled out. Crates within crates, weapons, ammunition, specialized gear far beyond civilian use. The night strikers worked quickly, extracting samples, tagging evidence, and removing as many weapons as they could carry without drawing attention. Then they were gone. No explosions, no sirens, no trace. Back at their base, the team gathered around a long table as the confiscated weapons were laid out. The silence was heavy. Finally, Nova Edge spoke. "This is unbelievable." Red Phoenix crossed his arms, studying the gear. "These aren't just for hired guns," he said. "With this kind of firepower, a trained group could take down 3 city blocks in a day. Easy." Tereshok nodded grimly. "And not just mercenaries, terror cells, organized militias, anyone with the right connections." Black Dragon stood before the main screen, hands behind his back. "Good thing we intercepted it," he said, "and now we have proof." Whisper leaned forward. "So what's next?" Black Dragon tapped the console. A large image filled the screen: financial records, shipment approvals, internal signatures. "This much movement," he said, "doesn't happen without help." Red Phoenix frowned. "You think Thompson's managers are involved?" "There's no doubt," Tereshok replied. "Someone inside is coordinating this." One of the operatives hesitated. "But Thompson will try to distance himself. Sacrifice a manager." Black Dragon allowed himself a thin smile. "Let him," he said. "That just proves we're close." He raised his hand and pointed to a face on the screen. A sharply dressed man stared back at them. "Mr. Creo. The supply chain runs through him," Black Dragon said. "And that makes him our next target." The room fell silent. Mr. Creo was signing documents when his phone rang. "Yes," he answered sharply. The voice on the other end was strained. "Sir, we were attacked." Creel's pen stopped mid-signature. "I think it was the night strikers again." "What?" he shouted, rising from his chair. "What do you mean again?" "The warehouse," the mercenary said. Silent. "We never saw them coming." "That's enough," Creel growled. He turned sharply. "That's enough," Creel growled. He turned sharply. "Hammer." A large man stepped forward. "Call the major assassins," Creel ordered. "Every professional we've worked with." Hammer hesitated. "That's a lot of heat." "I don't care," Creel snapped, boiling with rage. "We hunt them down and end this once and for all." "Yes, sir," replied Hammer as he rushed out the office. Creel ended the call and stared out over the city. "They're getting close," he muttered. "Too close." Across the street, on the rooftop of a neighboring building, a hooded figure stood watching. Black Dragon had heard everything. A low laugh escaped him. "You should have known better," he said quietly, "than to work with J.J. Thompson." He turned away from the edge. "Call all the assassins you want," he continued. "We'll take them down one by one." He paused. "And then," he said, "you're next." Black Dragon vanished into the night. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for the next chapter of Shadow Strike.